talk about Mage in Hearthstone, because that is possibly the only thing I'm qualified to talk about in the game. However, to show my qualifications, here we have a deck with a 71% win rate over 160 games. I did make it to Legend with it, even though it only says Diamond 1, and this was a deck of my own creation. Back in Murder at Castle Nathria, I created this deck with Aegwynn, and it is the first and possibly only deck to actually use Aegwynn in an effective way. And later, during the next patch, well, not patch, the next expansion, I forget which one that was, it became an actual deck that people called Aggro Mage. However, mine was still the best, in my opinion. And also, it came out an entire expansion earlier, so it only caught on after it got more support. Regardless, I would say that getting to Legend with a deck of my own creation gives me at least a little bit of merit in this game. So, let's talk about the new Mage card. And I'll also talk about Mage as an entire archetype, just because I can. First thing I would like to point out about these before going into any specific cards, these are so expensive. Oh my goodness. Not that this is a really accurate way to evaluate a set for, any class, but I do want to point out that if you add up the mana cost of all of these cards versus any other class, literally any other class, I'm pretty sure I did the math for every single other class, Mage comes out at the top with 48 mana. The other highest, I believe, is 45 with Warrior. So, the Mage is more expensive than Warrior now, to an extent. Like, we have a single 2-cost card, man. A single 2-cost card. Regardless, lots of these are, I'll go in order. So, Supernova. Fill your hand with random fire spells. They cost 1. Sounds cool. Let's take a look at the fire spells in Standard, please. Explosive Trap. Flame Geyser. Bad. Heat Wave. Bad. Spontaneous Combustion. Burn Down. Draw. Explosive Runes. Molten Rune. That'll still cost 3 because you want to forge it. Fireball, fine. Solar Flare, bad. Firelens Portal, okay. Flame Strike, bad. Supernova, can you even get Supernova from Supernova? I don't know. Regardless, not great. Sunset Volley, good. Yeah, very good. You'd be happy with getting a bunch of Sunset Volleys from Supernova. You won't, though. Hot Cold, bad. Mixtape, fine. Malted Magma, okay. Baking, actually, that could be one of the generically good hits, depending on, factors. Baking Soda Volcano. Alright, fine. Drive Insect. Yeah, that Overload 2 is gonna be annoying. Jam Session. Fine. Eat the Imp. Furnace Fuel, Hellfire. All meh. And Burning Heart, and then the Warrior Fire card. I'm not even gonna talk about that. Overall, I would be happy with getting 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 fire spells randomly for 1 mana. Why would I play Supernova? Anyway, Solar Flare deals 2 damage to all enemies, costs 1 for each elemental you control. I personally don't like Elemental Mage that much. It's just kind of they try to make elemental synergy, but they don't actually do it in a fun or interactive way, in my opinion. Costs 1 less for each elemental you control. Good and fine, that what they're expecting. We'll skip ahead a bit. Saroon, give all elementals in your deck fire spell damage +1. What they want you to do is they want you to take the freaking... Hold Any school, minion type, elemental. We'll just go to Mage. They want you to take this boy and give him spell damage +1, and then your fire spell damage +1, and then you play him and you get like 7 spell damage, and then you play a free solar flare or 2, and wow, that's 9 damage for 0 mana. Wow, so crazy. Wow. You're gonna die before then. You just are. It's Sarun. It falls into the trap of it is 6 mana for a 7/6. It's 6 mana for a 7/6. You play 6 mana for a 7/6 without having a board that your opponent has to take 2 turns to deal with. You're gonna die. And if you have a board that your opponent needs to take 2 turns to deal with, there are better cards you can play than 6 mana 7/6. Blazing Accretion. 3 mana 3/1. Draw 3 fire or elementals at best. I think that this could be okay if you're willing to literally stuff your deck with fire spells and elementals. I don't want to, so I'm not gonna play it. Look, if you give me fire spells or elementals that I want to play, then yeah. But so far, I'm not really seeing any that I'm actually interested in playing, so rough. Pocket Dimension. Discover spell, repeat until you see one for the 2nd time. Here's my issue with cards like this. I put this in the same category as freaking. Well, we want Spell School Arcane now. Volume Up. Volume Up is 4 mana for 3 spells, possibly 4 spells. That versus Pocket Dimension. Let's be nice. Let's say it can give you 3 to 4 spells as well. 3 to 5 maybe. Why do you want to spend 4 mana to fill your hand with spells? Spells that will, in all likelihood, just give you more spells that give you more spells. My issue with a lot of mage spells and mage things right now is they don't do anything. Pocket Dimension, it doesn't do anything. You discover a bunch of spells. Very nice. But if all the spells you're discovering don't do anything, except discover more spells, then you're just in an endless loop of spending too much mana for cards in your hand to spend mana on. There's no point. Mage has not been crying for, I need cards in my hand, I keep running out of value. No. We have Infinitize. We're fine. Exar Kataru. Same deal. Discover a spell and reduce its cost by 1. If you play it this turn, repeat this effect. 5 mana for a 5/5 that you can't actually play until turn 10. Or, if you played Ingenious Artificer, you could play it before turn 10, and then you're still in the same boat as, like, I'd rather, in most cases, I'd rather just play, what's it called? Archetype, Hell. Not stargazing. Yes. Void Scripture. Discover spell. If you have enough mana to cast it, to play, cast a copy of it at a random enemy. See, this is nice, because when you are at a high enough, mana, if you have 10 mana, and you play it, then you play something for 8 mana. for free for 2 mana. This is, again, let's pretend this is 0 for a moment. You get to discover a spell, reduces cost by 1, which is not too much, you know. There are a lot of cheap mage spells, but at the same time, there are a lot of expensive ones as well. So if you want to just play a bunch of spells that are cheap and, again, don't do too much, then you're going to have a great time. But I'd rather just discover something and then get to play it for free and then also have another in my hand. Spontaneous Combustion. Deal 4 damage to a random enemy. Played an elemental last turn. Choose the target. What a boring card. What a boring card. The payoff is that you get to choose what you deal 4 damage. That's okay. Why? Why can't it just like deal 3 damage to an enemy if you played an elemental last turn? Do something cool. That would be more fun, I think, and also make this card more playable. You know, 2 mana 4 damage, it's not nothing. It's pretty alright, but if you want to point this knee, you gotta be playing elementals, and if you're playing elementals, I don't know. I'm sure the elemental deck will be fine. You know, it's fine right now, but this won't be played. So 5 random fire spells into your deck, they cost you less. It won't be played. Spell's cool. Fire. No, again. Why would you want to ruin your draws with this card? There's no reason. Ingenious Artificer. Next Drain you play refreshes mana crystals equal to it. 5 mana 4/6, do nothing. You know, it could be fine. They want you to combo it with Archwing Pilot, so you could play a bunch of things and fill your board with 4/3s that will deal 3 damage to a random enemy. You know, if you manage to actually fill your board up with Archwing Pilot, best case scenario, you will deal 21 damage randomly. That could be okay, and assuming that you played some spells in order to do this, you have to play 6 spells in order to do that. Then you could do a bunch of damage one time, and then they are going to clear your board for 4 mana, because that's how board clears are. And then you're going to have wasted a whole bunch of spells and also damage. Draenei, honestly, they just feel like Naga a little bit less. I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel that they have a unique identity from these cards that I'm seeing. So I have a few notes here. Yeah, I mentioned that most of the cards don't do anything. Let's see. Doesn't do anything. Does 2 damage to everything. It's a 3/1 that draws. Doesn't do anything. Discover a spell. Great. It deals 4 damage. Doesn't do anything. Deals 3 damage to a random enemy at the end of the turn. This is the most expensive card list out of all the classes, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. The fire spell thing I like as a concept, but again, look at the fire spell. Not many of these cards are cards that I want to play. They're all I understand that the point of fire spells is to do damage, but I want. If you're gonna make a fire spell archetype, give us cool fire spells. That's not just hey, here's one big fire spell that gives you a bunch of boring fire spells. You know, the awkward card draw like Burn Down, it's fine. I can live with it. You know, card draw's card draw. But Flame Strike, just have it, like, this is old as hell. They even updated it to 5 damage, but like, make it do 4 damage to all enemy minions, and then at the start of your next turn, deal 4 damage again. You know, deal damage now and later. You know, you burn shit like fire does. You know, oh, this spell, if it hits face, it melts your opponent's weapon. Okay, that would be cool. You know, if the Firelands Portal and Sunset Volley, it's just, oh, you'll deal damage and then summon a random minion of, you know, summon a random, like, okay. Why? I don't care. Let's see, what else do I have? You know, there's something that ramps up the more fire spells that you cast. You know, I know that's kind of like Mozaki, but still, like, something here that isn't just Heat Wave or Heat Wave a little to the left. I don't know. Alright. Next in my notes. No tutors. I know that that's like, you know, scary to give Mage tutor card. But man, let's wonder for a sec. Look at that. I win. I have been saying this for a while, but one, so I do like the spell burst mechanic. I would like to say that outright. I like, for Mage personally, I like minions that make your spells better. I like spells that get better with the minions that you play. And you may be saying, oh, well, of course, Rune and, oh my god, Spontaneous Combustion. That's, it's so limited. It's so limited. Like, it's only elementals and only elementals. I don't always want to play with only elementals. And if you have Rune, it only works if you up your deck full of elementals. Like, this I'm more okay with because it has an effect that doesn't require you to play Drake. You can pack Exar Kataru and just use them. And it's fine. You know, I liked Egwin because you could make a deck where you play around doing Egwin, but you didn't have to choose, oh, I have to sort by elementals, click, 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 click. You looked at the small minions, which there are a lot of, and you picked the ones that work best for your deck, and you played them, and you used them. I loved, I think it was Frozen Touch. That was it. I loved Frozen Touch because it rewarded you for playing minions. Not specific types of minions, but minions. That's another reason that I don't like no minion mage. It's because I like minions, and I think that the no minion payoffs are not good, and I think that they could be more interesting. I could make a whole talking to about that, but I don't feel like it right now, because this is about the new mage cards. Yeah, and I guess the last thing I'd like to reiterate is that, again, the mage spells, they don't do anything. Cool mage spells. Let's Discovery of Magic discovers a spell from any class. Maybe you'll get one that does something. Flame Geyser, 2 damage, add an elemental for elemental damage. Go with the flow. Give a friendly minion spell damage +1 or freeze an enemy minion. Like, that's fine, but spell damage +1 is it is something that minions should come with, is my opinion. Like, the spending 1 card and 1 mana, assuming that you have a minion, for spell damage +1 is very situational. Very, very situational. Dana's Gift, literally all 3 of these are the same as the base game. Arcane Intellect, I'll talk about that in a moment. Oh my god. Sea Breach Chalice, it's fine. 3 mana, 6 damage. Or if you have spell damage, which Mage does not have a lot of, which makes no sense to me. Shooting Star, not very good. Soul Freeze, eh. Synthesize, I honestly hate this part. Cryopreservation, I like this. Freeze an enemy, excavated treasure. You know, Synthesize doesn't do anything. This gives you a relevant card and also freezes something for 2 mana. Good. I like it. Crossbow. Fine, I don't know why they brought it back. It could be so much more. I don't know. It doesn't have to be in the game anymore, honestly. Boot Wave is fine. I hate that it's quick draw. It doesn't feel good on something that doesn't have tradable. Like you draw a Heat Wave when it's not really relevant to play, and it's not very relevant to play. Hidden Objects is fine. I would change the entire way secrets work. You know, I can't go through everything, so we'll just go whether it does something or doesn't do something. Infinitize, it does something enough. It's relevant. It's infinite. Malfunction, I don't like no minion stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me. Primordial Glyph, good. Rewind, bad. 2 mana to discover a spell you've already cast. Irrelevant. 4 damage to a random enemy. Stargazing, could be better. Like, does something, doesn't do anything. Okay. Arcane Intellect, I have to talk about this real quick. This has been eclipsed so many times by other classes. This was the original card draw card, and it's still the same exact thing. Updated a bit, man. I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for 3 mana, draw 3. I'm asking for 3 mana, draw 2 cards, discover a card from your deck, place on top. Done. That's all it is. As a right vein, use it. Burn down. 3 mana, maybe draw 3 if you're cheap. Buy 1, get 1 freeze. Bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. Elemental Companion, not very good. Light Show, it should be 2 mana and shoot 1 beam. Molten Rune, fine. Like, all of these, like, if you're discovering spells and they're not getting reduced, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna discover or spot the different 4 mana for a 3 cost minion. Great. Volume up. Get 4 more cards into your hand that you can't fit. Manufacturing Error. 5 mana, draw 3. Terrible. Solar Flare. 5 mana, deal 2 to everything. Terrible. Star Power. Can be bad, can be good, depending on the situation. Like, I don't... Under the Sea, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to draw a different spell and then summon a random minion of that spell's cost. Let me put small spells in my deck that I want to actually put in there. These are all, like, huddle up. Horrible. Okay, the last thing I want to do is standard. Where's filters? Minion type. Naga. What is this? There's a 5/5 with nothing. Battle Cries, Outcast, Battle Cries. Battle Cries. There's another 5/5 that also doesn't do anything. Battle Cries. Mutating life forms soon, not even right now. There's a 6/6, and that's it. congrats, you filled your board with random 2/2s and 2/4s. Awful. Fill your board with random Naga and give him something. Or make it 5 mana. 5 mana, I'd play that. 6 mana, I don't think so. Yogg in a box, again, awful. Possibly even worse if your deck has no minions. Casting random spells is... It's not as good as it once was. I don't know that it was ever good, honestly. But it used to be fun when it was a lot of random spells. 8 mana for 5 random spells, you're not even guaranteed to clear the board. Tsunami, of course, does something, which you can now get from 10 mana Shadow Visions, or whatever the hell it's called. This one, Void Stricture, the Shadow spell. And Galactic Projection Orb, I'll make that work. Don't worry about it. Anyway, that's my official opinion on Great Dark Beyond or Mage. Just to recap. Bad. Bad. Fine. Bad. Bad. Fine. Fine, but boring. Bad. Undecided, but probably not good. And also probably not good. Alright, so I would love to play Mage one of these days. It would be cool. Maybe they'll print cards that I want to play with. I'll still try and make these work. My best guess is that I'm gonna pair Pocket Dimension and Supernova into a deck, along with Exarch, and I'm gonna try and make it work. It's not gonna work, and I'm gonna end up picking up Supernova, but leaving in Pocket Dimension. Exarch Karu, I'm probably also gonna take out eventually, because it's gonna be useless. You know, I think that it could be useful if it was, if they took out the this turn part, to give us an infinite spell that costs 1 less each time. I think that would be fun, but also would remove the point of infinitize. But I digress. Anyway, this is me talking for an undefined amount of time. That's all. Peace out.